Here in California, we're daylight savings time, so we got an extra hour of sleep, which is fantastic. Now, I have an issue with this Dara Khosrowshahi Uber trying to get into bed with the New York City taxi business, right? And even the main taxi union leader, who's a lady, even thinking about this. I mean, she has 25,000 taxi members, over 500,000 taxi trips in New York. I have a major problem with this because this Dara backstabber, and this includes Travis, tried to put, was their game plan to put the taxis out of business. They've put numerous taxi organizations, they've put numerous shuttle services out of business, right? That was their game plan. Subsidize these cheap fares, pay the drivers nothing, and drive these people out of business. And now he wants to sleep with them. Now he's begging for their business. Now he says, oh, we will incorporate you on your app. And this is the mixed message that Uber sends to the outside world, right? They sort of want it both ways. And people can't identify with the brand anymore. What is the brand? I mean, there is a very distinct yellow cab taxi brand. It's been there forever. People know what a yellow cab is, right? They've branded themselves as a yellow cab. Uber under Dara has completely lost its identity, right? It's like having an identity crisis almost, because if you're trying to build the Uber brand, you build the Uber transportation brand, right? You don't start whoring yourself out. You don't prostitute yourself out. You don't pimp yourself out to all of these companies because you are desperate, right? And that speaks volumes about this CEO. He's actually a BSO, bullshitting officer, right? That he will literally try and stab the taxi drivers of New York, put them out of business, and they're angry, dude. And yellow cab taxis, you guys need to revolt, and you need to kick your union leader out there if she is even making deals behind your back, because Uber try to put you out of business, right? They try to drive you out of business, and now suddenly they're doing backroom deals with your union leaders to put you in the Uber app. Dude, that's like, hey, you know, you go and cheat on your boyfriend or on your girlfriend, and then you come back and say, oh, everything's fine, it's okay, it's all right, let's continue this relationship, right? No, New York taxi drivers, it is not okay. He has shown you your true colors, and he was trying to drive you out of business, just like the shuttle business here in LA drove them out of business, and numerous taxi organizations drove them out of business. And because the New York City taxi organization is so powerful and weathered the storm and is coming back strong and is kicking Uber's ass in New York because they're charging half the fares, right? Now all of a sudden he says, oh my God, we're losing all this business in New York. I need to start sending out a couple of lobbyists and start talking to the New York taxi organizations, talk to the union leaders, and get into bed with them. I mean, this fool will climb into any bed and prostitute himself with anyone to make a few extra bucks. But no principles, no ethics, definitely no business ethics, right? And you got to kick the son of a bitch to the curb. And I'm now speaking on behalf of taxi drivers, and I'm sure Uber drivers can relate to this, right? If you get sold out by your CEO, right? He's now willing to hurt both sides. He hurt the New York taxi drivers big time. Now he's trying to win them back by accommodating them on the app. But now he's trying to stab the Uber drivers in the back by doing deals with the taxi drivers. I have nothing against taxi drivers. They are hardcore, hard workers that take care of their families. You know, I have a lot of taxi drivers that are subscribers in my channel because I go out and fight for them as well. I respect taxi drivers, big time. I've interviewed taxi drivers at LAX. They know me. They know I don't go behind their back and stab them, right? But Dara Khosrowshahi does this in the most classic way, and he thinks that's fine. Albert, thank you. I appreciate it, my friend. Glad you see it the same way. But this is classic Uber backstabbing. This is sleeping with both parties, right? It's almost like it's like the Democrats and the Republicans, like the politicians. Who do you trust in those mix of politicians? I don't trust no one. You know, I'm a very trusting person, but when I see bullshit on the wall, I don't have to trust the Democrats and the Republicans, because they both are not taking care of the people. They take care of their own business interests. They only take care of corporate America, right? And it's the same way here with Uber. They made every single effort to drive taxi businesses out of business by subsidizing trips, offering the cheapest fares where taxi drivers simply could not compete. And along comes the pandemic and things start to change. Right now, Uber drivers are gone, Lyft drivers are gone. Uber and Lyft are begging for drivers. They're literally on their knees begging for drivers. They're not getting the drivers. The rider fares are going up way past taxi fares. Taxi business got a shot in the arm, like an injection, and survive because they were almost, but we did not out of business, so we got to do business with them. What type of leader does that? That's a two-faced son of a bitch. Needs one of these, South African Puss Club, right? P-O-E-S-K-L-A-P. Look it up, Puss Club. That's what Dara needs, because he's a backstabber. He's shown us time and time again he's a coward, but he's also a backstabber. And taxi drivers, you got to vote this union member out. She is doing deals behind your back. I don't know what her name is. You can look up, right? She represents 25,000 taxis. Vote her out. She is sleeping with the devil. She is doing backroom deals with the devil, right? And oh, she goes like, oh, I'm keeping an open mind. Open mind means I will sleep, I will get into bed with anyone. Open mind, right? If the pillows are fresh and the sheets are fresh and the mattress is not worn out, I'll get in bed with you, Dara. And what that would do to the Uber brand would send, and you know, Lyft, I got to say, they stick to their branding. They've got the pink, and then whore themselves and prostitute themselves out to everyone. They create their own brand. But Uber will sleep with anyone and everyone. Got 33 people in the house. Happy Sunday. For all those Californian people watching right now, you got this bonus hour this morning that I'm sure you feel great about, right? Which is fantastic. I think now it's 9:30. Is that correct? It's not 10:30, but it's 9:30. I'm on my way to LAX to pick up a private client. Busy weekend. Jake, yes, absolutely. So, you know, I had to make a video about this because first I laughed and then I said, you know, this is just classic Dara Khosrowshahi, right? He tries to hang in there by a ball hair because he knows his Titanic is sinking, and then he starts calling the taxi. Hey, you know, we almost put you out of business, but how about we do business together? Taxi drivers of New York, take a stand. You're in a very powerful position. You do not need this alliance with Uber, really. And I hope every New York taxi driver sees this video, right? I'm wearing symbolic yellow. I'm wearing yellow today for you guys, right? Symbolic yellow Lacoste shirt for you guys, right? Because I'm saying we're standing in solidarity. I stand in solidarity with these New York drivers on this because Dara tried to cut their throat and put them out of business. And they almost were out of business. And then things under the mismanagement of Dara Khosrowshahi went sour. like I say, I'm repeating myself like a parrot here, but the riders are paying supersonic rates, and they're not, hell no, we're not paying these New York rates. We'll go with the taxi drivers. Taxi drivers of New York, right now you are strong. You do not need this alliance with Uber. Do not sleep with the devil, right? That's what I'm asking you. And get this video circulated in New York, please. If anybody's in New York from here, put it in your Facebook page. Let's connect with New York Drive, because I know that taxi drivers and Uber drivers together can work together. I mean, they don't really like each other, but they sort of got to work side by side. It's not like we're trying to destroy your business. Dara Khosrowshahi tried at one point to destroy your business, but rideshare drivers are not trying to destroy your business. Rideshare drivers are trying to make a living. New York City taxi drivers are trying to make a living. LA taxi drivers are trying to make a living, right? So I'm not for destroying the taxi business. I think it's healthy to have the taxi business because we need checks and balances. I do not want shuttle businesses and taxis going out of business, because then Uber and Lyft create a monopoly and they can dictate. I want them in the marketplace. Just like you need the pizzeria next to the Chinese restaurant, next to the sushi place, next to the barbecue place. You need competition, right? The idea here is not to drive taxi businesses out of business, my friend. And please, this is disturbing. Makes more money, no more, exactly, no more abuse and harassment. Thank you. Do you think if you're a little kid at the school and you get bullied around, do you think that's a fun way of growing up, being bullied and harassed? No, it's not, right? So even if you're an adult, verbal abuse, bullying, we don't need that in our lives. We don't wish that upon our children. We don't wish that upon our loved ones. You don't wish that upon yourselves. So this abuse that they think they can get away with, taxi drivers need to stand up strong, right? Thank you. Jake is an Uber driver in New York, right? And look what's happening now, Jake. Your company wants to get into bed and facilitate New York City taxi drivers, right? Let the taxi drivers, they're doing fine now, did not push them out of business. Let them operate their business side by side and not create this monopoly where Uber controls everything. Yes, absolutely. I won't be beat. And I like, that's the I won't be beat. It says it all. You will not beat us. When you say I won't allow yourself to be abused by these companies, you will not allow yourself to be abused by anyone. I won't be beat. That is a fantastic YouTube handle, right? So it's the name of the handle of my subscriber. Just reading it out. I won't be beat. So, you're not going to destroy these New York City taxis. You tried it. You tried to push them out of business. I mean, they destroyed. And I knew these guys who had this blue shuttle service. Knew the CEO. They had 500 LA shuttles. And his brother, I got to shut the business down. I'm like, no ways. He says, I cannot compete with Uber and Lyft's rates. They are deliberately driving us out of business. And that hurts me because he put 400 people out of work. He put an entire company out of work. And that's just because the investors have billions and billions to subsidize cheap trips, right? Like prostitution rates where the riders, oh my God, I'm getting this trip for nothing. And guess what? The drive is getting 50% of that. It's BS, folks. Absolute BS. Happy Sunday. So I'm fired up. It's going to be a good Sunday. I'm going to get a lot done. Sun's coming out. Clouds are dissipating here. The mist is dissipating. It is. It's a damn shame. And if you're a New York Uber driver, grab the link, tweet it out, grab the link, put it in the New York Uber Facebook page for me, please, if you're part of that, and let's make these taxi drivers understand that it's not us. who tried to drive them out of business. It was this executive trash team under Dara Khosrowshahi who tried to cripple them, right? But he did not succeed, and they came back strong. And now this weakling is begging for their business. He's weak. When he's down on his knees, he's willing to climb into bed with him. That is a classic backstabber. That does not speak very well for your personality. And there is no, even on the personality radar, there is nothing that shows up. There's 0%. It's hovering here. You know, if you have personality, it's going to go on the Richter scale here. Boom, the guy's got personality. There's nothing, man. It's like a flat battery. Dara Khosrowshahi. It's like a flat battery. He's a whore that'll sleep with everyone. He's a prostitute. He's a pimp. He's a coward. And he's a backstabber. And he has $2 million security to keep his ass secure, because everyone is after Dara Khosrowshahi. At some point, some driver is going to get to Dara Khosrowshahi. Mark my words. He has hurt too many drivers out there. This individual. It's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. So Dara, if you still lying in bed and sipping your champagne on this Sunday morning, hear me out, right? Because you just got an extra bonus hour through the daylight savings time. Hear me out. I'm calling you a backstabber, because that's what you are. You are stabbing the taxi business. You stab the taxi business in the back. You try to destroy the taxi business, and now you're crying like a little baby for their help. And that union, I'm going to find her name. I'm going to put her name underneath, and I'm going to put the link underneath. Those 25,000 union members, vote her ass out. Vote her ass out. Because she is doing deals behind your back. Guy's texting on the phone there. I'm swaying, texting on the phone and swaying into my lane. Scott Tucker's in the house. Good morning. But that's, it's making Philly businessmen in the house. Good morning, good morning. You guys read the title of my video. It's not difficult to understand, folks. It's not difficult to understand that under Travis Kalanick and Dara Khosrowshahi, the game plan was to put everyone out of business. And they knew they had a war chest of billions and billions of dollars to subsidize cheap trips. That is exactly what the business plan said. Drive them out of business, right? And along comes the pandemic, and they're not able to step up as true leaders and guide these companies through the storm. And they mess it up big time, and they lose the drivers. They lose the respect of the drivers. Drivers don't trust them anymore. And they start taking from the drivers. And they start charging the riders double, triple rates. And then obviously the law of economics will dictate. Capitalism will dictate. People will migrate to cheaper fares. So they go to the taxis. And the taxis re-emerge. They get stronger. And the taxis come back. And the taxis start taking Uber and Lyft's business once again. And then suddenly, New York taxi drivers are taking 500,000 trips a day, 500,000. It was down to 100,000 because of Uber and Lyft. And now they've come back strong. And now he wants their business. He wants to integrate, listen to this, the yellow taxi cabs into the Uber app. I mean, talk about destroying your brand. Who are you? Are you Uber Yellow or Yellow Uber? What are you? Right? You know, it's like Dara Khosrowshahi, the little bitch, like a cross-dresser. Who are you, Dara? Know who you are? Because you seem to bone everything. You seem to climb into bed with everything. Try to destroy it, and then you'll climb into bed with them. That says so much about your weak personality, right? I'm sorry, had to say it. Had to say it. So there it is. Say it as it is, baby. I will call it as it is. And rideshare drivers, the taxi drivers are not our enemy. We need them in the market. They need us in the market so that their checks and balances, right? So that Uber and Lyft cannot form monopolies and dictate whatever they want. We need resistance on the other side in order to keep Uber and Lyft in check, right? Competition, believe it or not, is very, very healthy for business. It keeps everything real. Competition keeps everything real. So I am all for shuttle services and taxi services working side by side with the rideshare business. I am not, let me repeat, I am not for driving them out of business, which was the game plan, which was the business plan of Travis and Dara Khosrowshahi. And that business plan failed. My friends, I will show you proof at LAX. Yesterday morning, today, I'm going there right now. Very, 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 very few rideshare drivers at LAX. Why? Because the rates out of LAX don't even justify a driver showing up. Any driver at LAX taking a trip right now, seriously, are you willing to work for that, for pennies? And the taxi drivers at LAX have re-emerged. They're strong. I have interviewed them. You've seen my videos. I have spoken to them. Thumbs up and smiles again. It was not the case before the pandemic when I had also interviewed them, right? So you will see there are hardly any rideshare drivers at the LAX terminal. And any rider coming into LAX, you're in for a nightmare. You're in for supersonic rates and you're in for long waits. No wonder they all drift. I've seen the people come there, wait. No, I'm not waiting anymore. And then they go over and grab a taxi. And that is why the taxi drivers have come back strong. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna actually try and make this video all the way to the airport so I can show you what's going on there. Well, freaking bright outside, man. And rideshare drivers, how do you, honestly, I'm asking rideshare drivers in New York, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Uber wanting to incorporate taxis into the app, yellow cab taxis? And appear in, I mean, I'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. I've had one Uber driver from New York here give me some feedback, which I highly appreciate. But if you're coming into this video and you watch this video, how do you feel about that? Yeah, and then gas prices. Geez, like, tell me about gas prices. How are you supposed to make money? Gas is nuts. fill up at $4.85 yesterday. Did nothing for $100 in this Escalade, nothing, gas-wise. I was with my son filling up yesterday. I was telling him about the high gas prices. Right next to us a car, and there's a lady talking to another lady. She said, I am so sick and tired of these high gas prices. I'm going to go out and buy myself an electric vehicle. Wow, that was a spontaneous decision. Telling a lady, I'm so sick and tired of these high gas prices. It's time to find an electric vehicle. And I'm pretty sure she was serious about it. Yeah, we 100%, you're right, we need a union. A union like the one in England. You know, by drivers for drivers. Not joining another powerful union so that they can make extra monthly dues and then sell us out. No. A new, fresh union by drivers for drivers. Like they did in London. It's a powerful organization run by drivers. And they don't take any crap. They don't take any crap from Uber. Lyft is not there in London, but this union by drivers for drivers in London, I've given them shout outs numerous times. They work with me. I give them a lot of exposure. They don't take an ounce of crap from Dara Khosrowshahi. They kick him in the nuts every week. They don't like something, they'll file a lawsuit. They don't like, they fought a battle since 2015 and won in Supreme Court. That shows you the caliber of that driver. These were drivers that sued Uber. Got themselves good legal representation, barons they call them there, in London, and they fought Uber and they won. And they're keeping on fighting Uber. It's a powerful union by drivers for drivers. That's what we need in the United States. Not all this other BS where these other large unions are trying to win a couple of drivers over. That's a long message I read. Whatever happens on either coast, Dallas gets screwed. Higher prices for riders. I mean, it's not just Dallas, my friend. Riders in every single city are paying prime dollars. And they're drifting off. That you ask yourself why these taxi organizations and shuttle companies are re-emerging. Because the price dictates and the rider is not willing to pay those astronomical rates. They're not. They are not willing to pay double taxi rates. They're not. So you have slim pickings of drivers. You still have riders out there that are willing to tolerate the price abuse, right? So you still have a lot of riders out there, not as many as there were. As you know, many of those drifted over, bought their own cars, or taking taxis right now. But price dictates. The riders will follow the cheap prices. That's why Uber Pool, we got to fight Uber Pool. And they announced yesterday bringing Uber Pool back. Uber Pool destroys the prices, right? Taxis don't have pools. You order a taxi for yourself. You're not pooling a taxi with anyone. But Pool gives Uber and Lyft a chance again to try and destroy these taxis because it completely screws up the pricing market. And do you think you as the driver are going to get double pay because you have Uber Pool? No, you're doing double the work for less money. And Uber and Lyft are double dipping on Pool, and the taxis are hurting, and once again the shuttles are hurting. So, you know, it's rough, man. It's a cutthroat business. It really is. I got my yellow outfit today. I'm standing in solidarity here. There we go. I'm standing with the yellow cabs today. There it is. My yellow cab outfit. Standing with the taxi drivers. I want the taxi drivers to be in the market, so it's competitive. You know, taxi drivers have to stay in the market so that drivers get paid better. Has to be competitive. If riders start taking more taxi trips and drivers are drifting off, maybe a lot of drivers have become taxi drivers because they're getting just paid better. Uber has to keep it competitive. They have to start paying the drivers better mileage rates, time rates. So we need competition, my friends. It's not about destroying competition and creating monopolies. It's not what it's about. That's what Uber and Lyft would ideally like, but it didn't work. In came the pandemic and screwed the game plan up. And all those billions and billions of dollars, investor dollars, by SoftBank, by the Saudis, Uber and Lyft have burned through them by subsidizing cheap rates. They're literally subsidizing cheap rates to try and destroy the yellow cab and the shuttle and the transportation service so that they can monopolize and own that business. It's a no-brainer. Get the CDL. Thanks for that. That's good. Good recommendation there. I like input like that. Thank you so much. Cool. Thank you, Juarez, for that feedback. That's awesome. That's good feedback. Last night I did about 2 hours private trips, made $450. 2 hours. Supersonic tips. I mean, that was with tips included. But I did not drive for more than 2 hours and made $450 in 2 hours yesterday with tips. Just two clients back to back. 1 hour, $450. Not bad. And that is the definition of a true independent contractor. Here's the bouncy part of the 405. And just to recap, the New York taxi daily trips were 500,000 taxi trips, yellow cab trips a day. It dwindled all the way down to 100,000 per day. And they were on their way of driving them out of business. And a lot of taxi organizations went under in New York. But they came back strong. And now your taxi union member wants to get into bed with Dara Khosrowshahi. Kick her out. Kick her out. She is selling the taxi drivers out. Rideshare drivers and taxi drivers need to be able to drive side by side and keep it competitive. And the highways are nice and empty. This is like a record getting to LAX. Well, it's a Sunday morning, so. You don't have to have a luxury black car. You could get you for those purposes, for private trips, you could get yourself a nice black on black Toyota Sienna as an entry point. You need a big car, or an SUV, or a Suburban, or a Cadillac, or a Tahoe, or if you want to just focus on, couples or individuals or CEOs, you could get yourself an S5 fifth good SUV. A lot of luggage, and get one that gets good gas mileage. Because these things, this is the most luxurious SUV that I have driven, the Platinum Cadillac. It drives, it's like a ship. It's so beautiful with all the amenities and everything, with all the extras, but it drinks. It has a 6.2 liter. It's almost 500 horsepower, man. This thing drinks like crazy. So the only thing I'd do different is maybe wait for the next Cadillac that comes out with an electric motor. Or, I don't know, maybe I could drive clients with the Cybertruck that I ordered. Well, it doesn't have enough seats. It's got enough space in the back to carry all the luggage, but definitely can only fit what, three people in the back, 1 passenger, 4 passengers plus driver. It's not enough. In the private business, I can tell you, too many times I'm driving 6 people, 6 passengers, 5 or 6 passengers. Last night, 5 passengers, 3 passengers, 5 passengers, and then 3 passengers. And the reason why I picked the largest Cadillac is because the amount of luggage that fits in this car is insane. It's way more than a Suburban. It's way more than the regular sized Cadillacs. It takes a ton of luggage. And when you have 5 or 6 people plus luggage, there's a lot of volume and a lot of weight in your car. This car can handle it, but it drinks like crazy. $100 a day is very common for me. Very common. I mean, I'm driving right next to the new Cadillac, the new generation, but I don't know, you got to get used to that shape. It's a very interesting shape. I left the New York, thank you David, I left the New York City market after the scandemic started. Well, couldn't really drive during the pandemic because of all the regulations and because of all the dangers associated with it. It pretty much brought everything to a screaming halt. Tesla. Yeah, I mean, Tesla should come out. Honestly, you know what Tesla needs to do? Elon Musk, are you listening? Are you listening? Do you want to clean up? Tesla needs to come out with an SUV. They've got the cars handled. They have a truck on the horizon. Tesla needs to come out with an SUV. It would kill the Cadillac market. It would kill the Suburban market, at least on the West Coast. I'm not so sure about the East Coast. And I see the Tesla numbers because my wife is one of the directors at BMW. So Tesla outsells the East Coast on the West Coast by far. But if Tesla would bring out an SUV, game over. And if they would beat the others to the punch, game over. I think the only electric SUV I know of, correct me folks, is an Audi. Audi has the e-tron, but it's not a big car. Americans love big cars. In rideshare, if you want to do private trips, you need big cars. You need the Suburban that's over there and right next to me, or a Cadillac. But these are gas guzzlers. But can you imagine something of the size of a Suburban or a Cadillac in form of a Tesla SUV? Game over. You know, let's tweet to Elon Musk, Musky boy. Yeah, he was born in the city where I did my army service, where I went to the army in Pretoria. That's where Elon was and he's not much older than me. So he must have been, while I was in the army there, he must have been roaming the streets of Pretoria. Look it up, Pretoria, Pretoria, Pretoria. That's where he's from. And I would love to I would love to meet with Elon, because firstly, we have a lot to talk about South Africa and how South Africa is changing. I mean, he left at the same time as I did. But Elon, if you're listening, as a South African to a South African, well, I'm born American, but as a South African to a South African, jy weet wat jy moet doen. Jy moet 'n Tesla SUV begin maak. Dan sal jy baie geld verdien. He'll understand what that means. A Tesla SUV, it's, Lewis, you're right. It would be expensive, no doubt. No doubt, my friend, it wouldn't be 165. No. They can make, this Tesla SUV that they have, that's not an SUV, that's a cross. It's a beautiful car where the doors go up. That's a cross. To me, that's a cross. It's not a proper full-sized SUV. It's not. They need a monster SUV. It would go gangbusters, my friend, gangbusters. Something where you can put the entire family, all your luggage. You can't do that in this little Tesla SUV. It's a nice, it's fast, it's sporty, it's sexy, the doors go up, but it is not a Suburban or a Cadillac. But you come out, Elon, if you're listening, if you come out with a Cadillac-sized Tesla, game over. And then imagine on that in a 500-mile range. The tri-motor Tesla, the tri-motor Tesla Cybertruck, which I ordered, gets 500 miles. That's all you need as a rideshare driver. Or as a big family, you're going to Vegas. 500 miles, you're done, you're there. Get all your kids, all your luggage, everything into your big Tesla SUV. Game over. Game over. John says, I hope everyone just, get vaccinated, get through it, get it over and done with. And let's get this party started, and let's start making money. The good thing is, economy is coming back strong. We just need certain sectors that are, restaurant business is still hurting, transportation business is hurting, trucking business is hurting. But all in all, job growth has been very, very high. People are traveling. I'm sure you've noticed people are traveling. Shout out to all the drivers, first responders. Huge shout out, huge thank you, super gratitude to all the first responders. We love you. We appreciate you. To all the drivers, and remarkable what they did during the pandemic, keeping the economy, keeping people moving, keeping people safe, those first responders. Remarkable. You're 100% right. Can never ever be forgotten what these individuals. But I mean, Lewis, the Suburban that you got is a fantastic car, don't get me wrong. But it is just my opinion that if Tesla would bring out something the size of a Suburban, it would clean up, it would kill Tahoes, it would kill Suburbans, it will kill Cadillacs, right? That's just my, and as I say that, I'm at this spot here, and I can tell you right now, if I zoom in on that one, I bet you there's a TCP. There it is. There, I called it. See on the bottom left, that's a TCP number. That guy over there. They're all waiting here. That guy over there. They're waiting now. That guy right at the back there. They're sitting here. They're sitting here. And they're waiting. Can you imagine those were all Teslas? By the way, I'm down here outside the airport, about to have coffee. Anyone, and that's always been my invite. If you are close to the airport, I will always treat you to food, a breakfast, or a coffee. I've been doing that for years. Anyone that is around can come up to me and say, hey, I'm here. Nice to meet you. I saw you on the live feed. There we go. What do you want? You want a hot chocolate? Do you want a coffee? Do you want a sandwich? All the time. Ask Nick. Ask Slick Nick. Last time I made a video right here. Boom. He arrives. We have a coffee. So thank you for all the likes. I got to rock and roll. This plane has landed. I got to get into the airport. I got to get a nice strong coffee. And I wish you guys a splendid, a wonderful, relaxing Sunday with your family. God bless you all. David's in the house. All of the guys, leave Fauci out of it, dude. Just don't get a hard on over Fauci. Really? He's worked under 5 or 6 presidents. Guys get such a boner over Fauci. Just leave. The guy has done his job for more than 30, 40 years, right? He's kept your parents safe, your kids safe. So get the fuck over it, really. These guys start beating up on Fauci. Move on to bigger other things, right? Guys are too involved in politics, too involved what people spoon feed you. Concentrate on your own lives, right? Just concentrate on your own lives and concentrate on your family versus blaming everyone else, right? Stop the stupid blame game. Focus on you, focus on your family, focus on making things happen in your sphere versus blaming everyone. Blame gets you nowhere, my friends. Both trash. Democrats and Republican leaders are both trash, really, because they're not working for you, they're working for the corporate America. That's all you have to understand, right? In the equation of politics, they ain't looking out for you, they're looking out for their own pockets, and they're looking out for corporate America. End of story. And that goes for Democrats and Republicans. It's a shit show. It's a joke. Both sides are a joke. So concentrate on you. There's right there, that's the SUV mafia. Right there, they sit there. There's usually 3 to 7 of them. They meet here. But they know me here. They know me. Because my drivers, my cars cut into their markets. Yes, the Tesla truck is being built in Austin, and but they need to get that factory built. That factory is lagging. It's behind. It's not where it's supposed to be. So I just watched a documentary that factory that's supposed to build the Cybertrucks is lagging behind. So those Cybertrucks, they say they'll be delivered in 2022. Mark my words, we'll be lucky. There the planes come in. There they come in. See? Big giants of the sky. There they are. Those Cybertrucks are going to be delivered in 2023 and 2024. Mark my words. Still a long way to go. Yep. Oh, customized Tesla truck into SUV. Wow, that would be epic, my friend. That would be epic. I got to go. My client has officially landed. I wish you guys a fantastic day. And please stay safe. Stay out of trouble. Be alert. Make sure you know what's going on 360 around you. And have a very, very cool Sunday, my friends. I will see you on Monday. Appreciate you all. Take care. David, Scott, everyone, all 22 people in the house. Take care. Happy Sunday, my friends. Thank you again.